What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Recording, and Jimmy Kimmel is having a very bad Christmas. He's been basically run out of America. Americans have had enough of him. He got a little bit of attention by standing on the grave of Charlie Kirk and saying some heinous things, but his viewership is in the absolute tank. So what is he trying to do? Well, he's trying to rebrand and be a thing in the UK. Except what he doesn't know, because really the UK is as their lawmakers, not the people, but their lawmakers and their laws are as cucked as he would want. The UK is an absolute paradise for him. Not that he would ever live there. No, he would live off like by Ellen DeGeneres, not in the city. He would make a big deal. You know, he's got his dual citizenship now in wherever, Ireland or something. You know, he's not living in Dublin. He's not living in the big city. But now, after America has rejected him, he's decided that he wants to do the special Christmas message for everyone in the UK in a desperate attempt to rebrand. Unfortunately for him, the UK doesn't like him either. And the feedback has been hilarious. Huge shout out to MetaPCs, promo code The Quartering. If you go to MetaPCs and use promo code The Quartering, you'll save money. Get your new computer now before RAM prices get out of control. I have to order one soon too, but I might be waiting because it just keeps going up every day. So if you're in the market, check them out. It's the only computer I use. It's the only one I trust. Lifetime tech support too. Jimmy Kimmel's Christmas message to British public sparks outrage. He should have stayed fired. Jimmy Kimmel has been slammed as out of touch and a joke after it was revealed that he would be delivering an alternative Christmas message about fascism to the Brits. Not Americans, because we've all heard that word enough to know that it doesn't really mean anything anymore. But so now he's got to tuck tail and go back across the ocean and try to get some attention from Brits. And Brits are already saying, we don't want to hear it. The message isn't even out yet, coming out on Christmas Day. But what's leaked out is very, very bad. And it's being received very, very bad. By the way, Disney also just threw him under the bus too. We'll get to that in a second. The comedian is set to lecture Britons on the rise of authoritarianism on Channel 4's version of the traditional speech, which will run counter to the annual address given by King Charles on Christmas Day. Kimmel reportedly decided to use the speech to poke fun at 2025 as a great year for fascism, in reference to his show being taken off the air for comments he made about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We'll get to that because Disney themselves admitted that the FCC, in fact, did not take him off the air. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Viewers in Britain and America alike hit out at the comedian for using his anticipated anti-Trump rant and expected omission of censorship issues plaguing Keir Starmer's own government. I mean, how many people have they arrested in the UK this year for tweets? More than 1,000? Quote, he's going to whine about free speech and fascism, said GB News presenter Alex Armstrong on X. He won't be referring to our government, will he? It'll all be Trump. Channel 4, deeply out of touch as usual. The people in the UK desperately need, and they have some, people to stand up for free speech, but in particular in the government, but they don't care. Mean tweets get people in jail. You know, a bunch of marauding foreigners doing something horrible to a 9-year-old means community service. Commentator Paul Thacker also pointed to the recent arrest of comedian Graham Linehan for making an anti-trans joke as evidence of the double standard in choosing Kimmel for the alternative message. The British establishment chose Jimmy Kimmel to speak out against fascism and in favor of free speech. This is the same government that only recently arrested comedian Graham Linehan, Thacker wrote. You see, Channel 4 have invited Jimmy Kimmel alternative, C4, deeply out of touch. Shelley Wright, he should have stayed fired. Everything is upside down in England, and the funniest joke is Jimmy Kimmel. Other critics waded into the controversy of Kimmel's upcoming address by saying that they had wished he had stayed fired. His intent isn't about the UK and our residents having been getting arrested for making Facebook posts about migrant problems. It's about Trump, said another critic. In reports of Kimmel's plans for his speech, the comedian is said to compare the U.S. administration to the rise of fascism. Kimmel has unabashedly hit out at Trump throughout the year, using his platform to criticize the president's policies, rhetoric, and character, leading to a long-standing rivalry. He was taken off the air in the aftermath of Kirk's assassination as he delivered a monologue claiming that the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this kid who assassinated Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of their own, and that doing everything they can to score political points from it. I should point out, when he got back on air, he had the best ratings he'd ever had ever on the channel. So who's profiting? Score him another one-year deal over at Disney. He accused them also of that. Okay, Disney-owned ABC took his show off the air in response, while FCC Chairman Brendan Carr warned the network its license could be at risk because of Kimmel's content. Trump later suggested that if any TV network only given him bad press, maybe their license should be taken away. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. But Trump always says crazy stuff like that. He's never actually done it. The controversy led to backlash as the White House was accused of infringing on free speech and freedom of press, as well as slating Trump. Kimmel's speech will also reflect on the events of the past year, sharing his own personal experiences and insights after being at the center of one of the stories that rocked the United States. Channel 4 spokesperson said Donald Trump's return to the White House and a wide-ranging impact on the world has been a story of 2025, and it would be hard to think of a better person to address it other than Jimmy Kimmel. Well, I could tell you this. If some Brit-bong was set to address America on Christmas, I wouldn't want to hear it. The same reason I can't imagine any British person would want to hear some dork American talk about American politics. I mean, how out of touch do you have to be? Oh, yeah, and they're talking about America's battle over free speech. Brother, you're arresting people for tweets. You're arresting comedians. Kimmel's stupid wife and head writer Molly McInerney had previously admitted that she and her husband had thought his career was effectively over. Channel 4's annual broadcast, which first aired back in '93, aims to bring viewers a message about the year's events. Kimmel's address follows on from previous messages delivered by a wide range of presenters, including British comedian Chris McCausland, who addressed ableism last year after being the first blind person to win the show. Strictly Come Dancing. Ableism? Really? You know, I mean, let's be honest, England has become a woke joke, and they badly need dentists in that country. Can we bring back Craig Ferguson, Arsenio, Conan? Well, how about well, I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of it. Massive comedian, Grammy roaster. I can't think of it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But this, by the way, in just 4 days ago, they snuck this in on Friday. In a new filing, Disney admits it did not want to suspend Jimmy Kimmel, but it did to appease its activist affiliate owners, not the FCC. It's affiliate owners, which said, we don't want to broadcast this garbage on TV anymore. The FCC is currently investigating the Walt Disney Company and other broadcasters to determine how much influence they currently wield over the affiliate partners, and if those affiliate networks can unilaterally preempt shows they deem offensive or counterintuitive to their goals. During that investigation, Disney released a filing that sheds more light on the suspension of late-night host Jimmy Kimmel back in September. In its filing, Disney stated that its affiliate stations, led by those owned by Nexstar and Sinclair Broadcasting, contributed to the Kimmel suspension over his comments about Charlie Kirk's death. It was previously reported by Rolling Stone, remember the mattress girl story that they falsely reported and the horse paste story that they falsely reported, that many Disney executives did not believe that Kimmel had done anything wrong and that a suspension wasn't warranted. Of course, they're liberals. However, after some affiliates threatened to preempt Kimmel's show, Disney took action and briefly suspended the late-night host. Disney used this as an example to show the FCC that the current system is working. But Kimmel and the left-wing media keep saying that he was taken off the air because of the FCC, but he wasn't. Even Disney admits that. Even Disney admits publicly now, long after the fact, after they got the mileage off of his fake outrage. Over the last 30 years, ABC affiliated stations have exercised their rights to preempt programming and will continue to do so without FCC intervention. Disney told the FCC on December 10th, citing preemptions of other Kimmel, NYPD Blue, and Saving Private Ryan. These other examples make clear that the regime is working in compliance with the FCC's rules and that no further regulatory intervention is warranted. Translation, we took them off because we were losing money and it had nothing at all to do with the FCC. Even though Kimmel has repeatedly said that. Left-wing media has repeatedly said that. You know, Hollywood Reporter. Activist local TV stations got Jimmy Kimmel suspended from ABC. Disney says it's proof the system works. But Hollywood reported unequivocally that it was the FCC. Variety also reported that it was the FCC. Now they're like, well, actually, it wasn't that. And then Kimmel whined that nobody was held accountable. Accountable for what? This is capitalism. Your affiliates did not want your product. They told Disney, I don't want it. Disney took you off the air. It had absolutely nothing to do with fascism. It had absolutely nothing to do with the FCC. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, yeah, but nobody got punished. Well, anybody who had to still watch your show probably got punished. People say, I agree with Kimmel. He was not held accountable for his hateful rhetoric and blatant spreading of lies. This guy's an absolute loser, and he'll still be a loser on Christmas Day. I can't wait to see his disgusting message. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.